Hello. How many of you here speak two or more languages? Wow, that's a lot. Do you remember realizing that other languages existed? Maybe it was when you heard your friend talking it, or maybe when you heard something online, or maybe learning about it in school. Today, I want to talk about something that has impacted my life, language, and I'm sure it has impacted yours as well. You see, I used to believe that language and learning about languages was less important than other subjects like science or math. Well, as I learned more and more Dutch, I learned that I was learning more about the country that I was living in. I was learning more about the culture, the people, and the weather. Learning and understanding about a new language helped me connect with the people I was living with, the responsibilities I was able to take on, the opportunities I am able to access now. But this isn't just my story. This impacts all of you too. You might have not realized it, but language is everywhere. So, hello again. I am Soundarya Lahari. I am an IB student, International Baccalaureate, and I am 17. I usually start my day speaking Telugu. You see, I'm from a South Indian family, but I grew up in North India. Telugu is my parents' mother tongue. It's my mother tongue. It's what I grew up speaking at home. Telugu is a Dravidian language. It originates from the southern states of India, like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. It's my mother tongue. It makes me very proud to be able to speak it. Outside of my house, at school, for example, I speak English. I learned English as a third language. After I moved to the Netherlands, I had no choice but to speak English. It was the only way I could communicate with people here. Over time, English has become my main language and tool for communication. I mean, as an IB student, all my essays, all my classworks, the way I communicate to my teachers and friends, everything is in English. Outside of school, well, I have to at least try and speak Dutch. I mean, I live in the Netherlands. I try my best, but of course it's not perfect yet. I try to speak Dutch to my friends or maybe at one of my extracurricular activities. Slowly, this way, I have adapted and learned to navigate between multiple languages in just a single day. And this may seem like a lot, but it's the reality of many people. Now, due to globalization, the world is growing smaller and is becoming more and more interconnected. And this means that being multilingual becomes a great tool for communication. And people who are able to be multilingual will be best suited to thrive in this new global world. It is estimated that in 2050, more than 2 billion people will be able to speak English. But languages like Mandarin, English, Spanish, Arabic, and Hindi are also growing a lot. And now you may be thinking, won't it just be easier if everyone spoke the same language? Maybe something like English or Spanish or even Dutch. Maybe it would make things much easier, right? You can communicate with everyone easily. I mean, it's bound to happen. It's already happening, isn't it? Well, now, I understand that having a language or a lingua franca is useful, but I have realized that our native language ties us to who we are as individuals, and we just simply can't risk losing it. A few years ago, I would travel to Berlin with some of my friends. We were exploring a new city, new culture, and history. And over time, of course, I was speaking English because I don't speak Dutch and German. As I was walking around, talking to everyone I knew, learning about the Berlin Wall and everything, I spoke more and more English. I got so used to it. I remember posting on social media and making friends along the way and talking to random strangers in English. But once I got back home, I tried to speak with my family. I realized how much of my language, how much of my Telugu had actually faded. The words came out slow and broken, and I was shaking, and I tried to fill in the gaps with English. I couldn't speak my mother tongue properly anymore. Now, After a while, this made me feel very, very stupid. It hit me hard. I mean, it's my mother tongue. I can't communicate with my family well. So I vowed to practice and get better. Now, I mean, I still can't speak well, but this is what I wanted to talk about today. As we are improving and learning more languages and becoming globalized, it is important that we stay true to our heritage languages. Losing a language means losing a special connection that you had with your own culture and your own history. Now, there's a theory that says language relativism says that each language has its own worldview influenced by culture and identity. There's a Czech proverb that says, learn a new language, get a new soul. In this way, language not only facilitates communication, but it also builds who we are as individuals, which is why language is so important. Now, because so many of you here speak multiple languages, I understand that you may find this very obvious, but around 80% of US Americans only speak English. Similarly, 40% of the world and around 40% of Europeans are also monolinguals. Monolingualism means losing a part of yourself and losing an identity and not having access to be able to talk with someone who doesn't speak your language. And as the world is growing and we need to communicate more, we need to bridge this gap. So we need to create more opportunities for people to learn about languages and to practice speaking multiple languages. To me, improving means practicing more of my own native language with my family. It also means learning more about the culture that these languages are from. For all of you, similar opportunities exist. I ask you to go home and maybe think about all the languages you speak. Try and improve them or try to talk to your family in a different language. It doesn't have to be hard. It could be something as simple as practicing a few phrases a day or speaking on Duolingo for 10 minutes. I mean, yeah, it has significantly improved my own languages that I have learned. So, remember, the present is future. The languages you choose to speak today will influence who you're able to connect and grow with in the future. So, I encourage you to learn, to grow, and to build bridges with language. Thank you.